Even the most iconic brands and successful companies experience their fair share of hardship. Whether it's a ghastly scandal, a messy bankruptcy, or even just a sustained money-losing rut, plenty of big-name corporations have had to claw their way out of the grave, sometimes more than once. Household names like Apple, Lego, and Marvel have all gone bankrupt or come close to doing so, only to come back stronger than ever. Some businesses you might think are dead, like Enron and WorldCom, have been revived through rebranding, new management, or being acquired. Others, such as Pan Am, launched multiple attempts to bring back their former success, only to shutter for good years later. Let us dive into the companies that fought back from bankruptcy and the story on how they did it. Number 1. Marvel. You might never have thought that this company would be in the list. Near-death experiences are a regular occurrence for Marvel characters. So perhaps it's only natural that the pop culture icon emerged from its mid-90s bankruptcy stronger than ever before. Marvel went belly up in late 1996 after the speculative collector's market cratered in its core comic book business and the trading card business, which it had expanded into with the acquisitions of Fleer and Skybox. The company came out of bankruptcy in July 1997 after months of legal battles and quickly found stable footing with Marvel Studios, a pre-production studio it had created shortly before entering bankruptcy. Whereas earlier Marvel movie projects had been held up after being sold to major studios, the new studio allowed Marvel to expedite the process by commissioning scripts and hiring key actors and directors. Movies like Blade, X-Men, and especially Spider-Man succeeded at the box office. And Marvel enjoyed a small licensing fee, a huge boost in comic sales, and other licensing opportunities. But movie studios like Sony Pictures were taking the lion's share of the box office revenue. As former Marvel Studios CEO Avi Arad explained to Slate, "We were giving away the best part of our business. The first 2 Spider-Man movies made $3 billion around the world, but Marvel took in just $62 million. So Arad and Marvel COO David Maisel convinced the Marvel board of directors to make a potentially risky deal with Merrill Lynch to finance production of Marvel's movies from start to finish. Marvel received $525 million to make movies based on 10 of its characters. But if the first 4 flopped, it would have to give its creditors the movie rights to the remaining 6 superheroes. Iron Man, the first film produced under the New Deal in 2008, grossed nearly $600 million worldwide. Its success helped inspire Disney to acquire the company for $4 billion in 2009, and inspired the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which has only grown since. To date, its 22 films, which include Avengers, Endgame and Black Panther, have grossed over $8 billion. Remember to stay with me to the end, as the rest of the companies mentioned in this video will amaze you. Number 2. IBM. When RJR Nabisco chairman Louis Gerstner took over as IBM CEO in 1993, he inherited a sprawling, siloed company that many thought was too unwieldy to compete with its more nimble rivals. IBM lost $8 billion that year due to flagging mainframe sales, causing Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison to remark, "IBM? We don't even think about those guys anymore. They're not dead, but they're irrelevant." Gerstner realized that IBM's various internal sales teams were consistently in competition with another, to the detriment of the company. Rather than having salespeople sell individual pieces of hardware, Gerstner shifted the company's focus toward being a holistic IT services provider. Under the new structure, IBM representatives would help clients build the perfect technology stack, even if it included a couple products made by IBM's competitors. As the new CEO, Gerstner also worked to establish a coherent brand and a shared, company-wide mission, in what the New York Times called the largest shift in advertising history. IBM fired the 40-plus ad agencies it had used to market its various product lines, consolidating its entire business with Ogilvy and Mather. Crucially, the company tied employee pay to IBM's overall performance, instead of the employee's individual unit. Gerstner created a culture of accountability by urging employees to produce tangible results quickly, rather than studying things to death, and he held executives to the promises they made. Gerstner's strategy worked, with a high, recurring margins of the services business proving more profitable than simple hardware sales. IBM had gone from losing $8 billion to making $7.7 billion by the time he handed over the reins to Chief Operating Officer Sam Palmisano in 2002. As Andy Grove, former Intel CEO, told Fortune, "Gerstner has done more than I ever imagined anyone could do with that company. The company has seen its ups and downs in the years since, but it's never again been on the brink of dissolution. Today, it's worth over $100 billion. Before going on, if you feel that I have given you some value, please help me by smashing the like button, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell, so you will be updated when I upload new videos like this. Number 3. Apple. Today it's almost impossible to imagine a world without Apple, but Steve Jobs' computing giant was on life support when he returned to the company in June 1997 after 12 years away. In the fiscal year that ended 3 months later, Apple had lost over $1 billion on an expansive line of products that included flops like the Newton Message Pad, a handheld device similar to a Palm Pilot. Even worse, the company was 90 days from being insolvent, according to Walter Isaacson's biography of Jobs. Apple's recovery began with a $150 million investment from Microsoft, which came as part of a broad peace pact that helped Microsoft defend itself from antitrust allegations by keeping its biggest rival afloat. Next, Jobs went to work trimming Apple's product offering so that it could focus on selling a small number of transformative devices. He laid off 3,000 employees and discontinued about 70% of Apple's products, including the Newton Message Pad. As Jobs told Isaacson, deciding what not to do is as important as deciding what to do. Jobs also pushed the company to be more innovative in its design. In one famous 1997 moment, he called a meeting with Apple's top executives and proceeded to shout that, "The products suck. There's no sex in them anymore." The company's newfound focus paid off the following year with the release of the iMac, Apple's first breakout hit of the second Jobs era. With a sleek, translucent design and an easy internet setup, the consumer-friendly desktop computer sold nearly 800,000 units in its first 5 months. The product's success made 1998 Apple's first profitable year since 1995. iMac designer Johnny Ive followed up on his success with the iPod in 2001 and the iPhone in 2007. Today, Apple is a $300 billion company and a household name synonymous with attractive product design. But it all might never have happened without a $150 million investment from Microsoft and a kick in the pants from its founder. Number 4. Nintendo. Most video game hardware manufacturers design their new releases around technical specifications and iterative improvements aimed at the hardcore gamer. Nintendo, however, regularly reimagines the gaming console for a mass audience, focusing on simplicity and accessibility over jaw-dropping graphics and processors. When these ideas work, as they did with the Wii's motion sensing controllers or the handheld DS's dual screen and stylus pad, Nintendo is able to delight consumers who don't normally consider themselves gamers. But when it doesn't innovate, as was the case for 2001's GameCube, or fails to execute on a bold gambit, think the Wii U's touchscreen controller in 2012, Nintendo doesn't have as large a base of regular game buyers to fall back on. By the end of 2014, the Wii U's failure had caused the company to suffer operating losses in 3 consecutive fiscal years for the first time in its 125-year history. And some industry observers were left to question whether Nintendo should still produce gaming consoles. The naysayers were proven wrong in 2017 with the introduction of the Nintendo Switch, a hybrid handheld device and gaming console that allows for play on the user's television or a built-in mobile tablet screen. After integrating its console and handheld divisions in 2013, Nintendo had the flexibility to move game developers across different projects, which it used to ensure a steady stream of well-regarded game releases. The company also corrected for the Wii U's long load times by creating a streamlined process that allows players to turn on the device and get into gameplay with 3 button clicks. Despite some choppy waters, the company once again found its winning formula of creativity and simplicity. In 2 years, the Switch has sold around 35 million units, nearly tripling the Wii U's lifetime sales and driving a 500% jump in Nintendo's profits. Number 5. Lego. Lego has been a staple of children's playrooms for decades. But in 2003, the company's future was in serious jeopardy. Facing sliding sales and a host of failed business ventures, Lego found itself $800 million in debt and on the verge of bankruptcy. With the rise of digital media commanding more attention from the brand's fan base, Lego had sought to diversify its business with TV shows, video games, movies, and theme parks. But the company's leaders didn't have expertise in these lines of business, which showed in the final products. By the time Jürgen Vig Knudstorp took over as CEO in 2004, the company owned 4 Legoland theme parks, which cost £125 million to build and then lost £25 million in their first year. Knudstorp cut costs by reducing the number of Lego parts in circulation from 13,000 to 7,000. and moving some of its manufacturing and distribution from Denmark to less expensive areas in Mexico and Central Europe. The company sold off a majority stake in its theme parks to hospitality company Merlin Entertainments, and began working with video game companies and movie studios to produce crossover media. The Lego Movie, produced by Warner Bros. In 2014, was a smash hit that helped Lego increase profits by 15% year-over-year. Lego also returned its focus to its iconic brick toys and customers. After 4 years of research, it produced the Lego Friends line, which replaced its traditional blocky figurines with more human-like mini dolls. The company further engaged its fans by allowing them to submit their own designs and ideas, with the winning entries getting 1% of worldwide sales once the product is made. Even in today's struggling toy market, the iconic brand grew its annual revenues to $5.6 billion in 2018, a testament to its devoted fan base and its willingness to listen to them. These 5 companies are just tip of the iceberg. There are still many companies that have come back from death and have amazing stories to tell. Comment down below if you want me to make another video telling stories of other companies. And if you like my video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel and comment down below. Thank you.